All right, now we have got the female version done, the little woman. Now we're going to do the male version. And the reason, like I said, I picked this project is because it is it's a project that is simple, not hard to do, but you know, just good in that sense, in other words. Okay, now one of the things when it comes to the man, we are going to come across and make the head. We're not just going to. We're going to actually make the head round. We're going to make it that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of the rain has stopped. Someone is over there playing some kind of goofy music. I don't know what it is. You know, if it's not 50s and 60s, it's goofy music to me. There's some people across the street in their Dominican Republic or something like that, and they're playing that kind of music, which I don't even actually know what Dominican Republic music is, but it's of that nature. In the world, sounds like somebody blowing a horn or something. And don't think there's any Jewish holidays or anything going on right now. But I'm not being funny now, I'm just saying. It sounded like one of those shofars, you know. Almost. You know, people. We were talking, of course, about the situation in Houston and how bad it's gotten and everything like that. But people in general, let me tell you about a very sad thing that happened the other night, and I'm not getting in, but we're gonna round the head a little bit before we go into the body. Houston, of course, is in dire need and dire strait, and there was a detective, a young man who just recently got married. I saw a picture of his wife. She's a beautiful woman, very, very happy. They don't have any children, but anyway, just to show you how people can get in times like that. Supposedly a guy had gone to a to a fast food restaurant, that's what it was. And the guy didn't get his fast food quick. I don't know what it was, maybe they had a generator. See, a lot of these places get to where now they carry generators, and their shop is on generators, so they're able to fix food, and they're the only ones open, and they make a lot of money. I know when my son came back from Rita, he used to work at Domino's Pizza, and they had a generator, and they were making pizzas, and I mean, they had a line a mile long going out of Domino's because they were the only people in town that had power or were producing power. So, and so a lot of these stores have put in generators so that if something does happen, natural gas generators, then they can stay open. So I'm sure there were some stores in Houston that did that. Anyway, it's some kind of a fast food restaurant, and this guy goes to it, and they don't get his order right, or I don't know what happened. It's something about he didn't get his order right or something. So he went in, he slugged one of the employees. He hit him, and then walked off. Well, the police came and investigated it, and they gave a description of the guy, and I think the guy had already, you know, he had been known in that area as having some issues and stuff like that. And anyway, so a detective that was working violence control and stuff like that around the city and was driving around the city saw the man's car, and he saw the man get out of the car, and so he parked his police car and went to look for the man, and the man ambushed him and killed him. Now this is all over. I think the man's name, the detective's name was Esquita. And this was all over the fact that the guy went to a fast food restaurant and, you know, got angry. And I think the guy already had a warrant on him. I don't, perhaps not showing up in court or whatever, but he was a troublemaker, and he ambushed the detective and he killed him. Those are things that go on. And I know it goes on in Chicago every, July 4th weekend. I understood there were 100 people shot and 17 fatalities on the July 4th, a time of celebration in Chicago. And I know this stuff goes on. Houston's a very big city, and that goes on a lot. So anyway, we're rounding the head over like this. But it was a very sad situation that happened in that thing. Now we want to go on this side, and what we want to do is we want to come up like this on this side. Okay, we want to come up, but we don't want to do it over here. Okay, we only want to do it on one side. So we're gonna kind of, and I'll show you why. But that was a very sad thing that happened in Houston the other day, and it was very sad. It's just horrible. Young man, very young, probably early 30s, whatever. But this is what happens sometimes. This is, I'm pushing on this thing. Now to do the man, we won't have the bottom come out so far. Okay? And let's go ahead and, all right, now let me show you. The arm is going to come like this. Okay? So we're going to come further over this way, a little more than halfway, and we're going to put a arm right there. Okay, so we're going to come a little bit further over this way, and we're going to make our cuts. Okay, and then we're going to bring this down. I'll bring this like this. Okay, all right. So we're coming at an angle like this for the man, okay? And we're just going to kind of go around this way and bring that like that. All right? And then this is going to be we're going to do that like that, so, and do it, down and all that other stuff. All right. And so he was killed. Very, very sad story. Very sad story. But I don't know. See, a lot of people that are not involved in hurricanes and stuff. I remember after Katrina, when people went to New Orleans to lend hands, and they said, I remember one guy wrote about, he spent the first night in New Orleans, and it was just like, it was like a war zone going on. People shooting, and it was like the city had been taken over. Now, I haven't seen the movie The Purge and all that stuff, but I've heard about it, and I've heard about the stuff. And this front side, we're going to bring this down a lot. It's not going to be like the lady, with the woman, it was sticking out this far, but that's not going to be with the man, okay? But they said it was like a war zone. There was one guy went over there to cook food and to serve and stuff, and he said the first night he stayed there, it was just it was like a war zone. And he decided it was not safe. In fact, the police told him, it's best that you not stay here, and everything like that. So that went on, you know. And now on the man, we're going to make an arm right here. Now I always make it bigger than what it should be, and then I just cut it down, and I'm going to thin it all off anyway, but I just do that. So and we're not going to, you know, we're not going for detail necessarily. We're just going to help get stuff here, okay? Anyway, so he did not stay in New Orleans because there was so much violence going on. People were robbing stores, shooting at the police, doing things like that. And of course, that looters, when you have, one of the things about when you're gone from your home, and I have seen this, when you're gone from your home, police are on double duty. They're during a storm, because they know there's no one here, and the first responders and the police have to stay and keep order, because if you don't, people will just be breaking in people's homes. They will. I mean, it's just a known thing that will happen. Even down here where I live, it will happen because looters will come in from everywhere. And that's why a lot of people get mad. I have seen this. A lot of people get mad because after a hurricane they want to go home. And a lot of times they tell people it's not safe for you to go home right now. A lot of times because there's power lines that have fallen on the roads and stuff like that. Now the reason I was able to get back in is because I had a pass from my refinery that said I needed to get the refinery back up. But let me tell you something. I couldn't just drive around. You don't have to understand. I could not just take that pass, get through and drive around, because they told me at the thing, okay, well, Mr. Messer, you need to go to your refinery or to it, and don't stay on the roads at night, because we're gonna. So if I've got, you know, and usually when I would get to my refinery, we would stay there. We would not leave and go back home. Sometimes they would let us, but most of the time we would not leave and go back home because we had to get the refinery up. But I'm just saying. But even though I had that pass to go and work in the refinery, I did not have a pass to just drive around at night doing what I wanted to, because there was basically what happens is there was a curfew. They had a curfew that went into place, and people were not supposed to be on the streets after a certain time of night when it would get dark. So that was one of the incidences that I remember very well, and I don't blame them, because they don't know who's driving around, and they're going to stop you. I'm telling you, I know, because I was coming home to get something. I don't know what it was I had to get. I can't even remember. It's been so many years. Rita was in 2005, I believe, yes. And I was going home, and I got stopped. And the police wanted to know where I was going, what I was doing. I was saying, I'm going home, I'm going back to the plant. Well, I had my uniform on, so he said, all right, but go get your stamina and get back, you know, because we don't want you out here on the roads. We're going to stop you. So that was the situation. So those are the things that happen a lot of times when you have people that no one's in town. People loot their homes, and they're on the streets. They're stealing. They're doing looting businesses. Usually, it's not as much people home as it is businesses and stuff like that, because there's no lights. There's no power, so they can go and loot businesses and stuff like that. So they're very, very strict after, and so many people get very, very mad because they have barricades and they won't let you through. And I've heard people, oh man, they just get furious. Oh, well, I'm coming home and you ain't gonna stop me and stuff. But they, you get arrested and in trouble, and they want to complain about it. But what people don't understand is how it is when you come into a community like that after a storm. And I'm sure some of you have experienced it. Some of you have been in that situation where, and you're going to have people, I don't care who you are. Now we're gonna just kind of come up here like this. You're going to have people who are going to go in there and they're going to try to steal and they're going to try to loot. That's just a normal thing. It's not it's not rocket science. It's really not, in other words. So you're going to have that. So understand, these people are trying, no, I'm not keeping you out because they don't want you to go back to your home. Because everyone, after a storm, I don't care, everyone wants to go back and see how much damage has been done to their home. They do. They want to go back, they want to see how much damage is done to their home. They want to start cleaning up, they want to start doing this and that. But sometimes they just will not let you in because you are, until they can get crews or whatever it is. And if they let you in and you are driving down the street and you run over an electrical line and it electrocutes you or whatever it is, then they're responsible for it. Somebody's going to answer. Everybody wants to blame the first responders and stuff because this guy got killed. I mean, this is what people do. So this is what you have. This is one of the situations that you have, and so they're not there to hurt you or whatever. They're there simply. And listen, there are people that, man, they run barricades. And I understand that. It's like the people that when they tell you need to get out, and they don't get out, and they tell you, now look, if something happens, our first responders cannot risk their lives to get to you because you refuse to go out. And that happens a whole lot. So there's a lot more than what people understand. They want to complain and they want to holler and scream, but there's a lot to it. There is a lot to it. And there's a lot to stuff like that, and people don't understand a lot of times that they're trying to protect you, but some people are just that way. So anyway, okay, now you see how the arm is right here? See how that is? Okay. Now we're going to carve another little thing. And this is the arm here. So we're gonna make that a little bit thinner as we possibly say. And then we're going to put the hand here. We're not going to put any fingers on this thing. We're just gonna put the hand here. Okay. And we're going to bring this down just a little bit. I'm sorry, we're just talking like I said. So when you are a person who has come back after and that's why they say, you know, Mr. Messer, you go straight, and that's what we would do. We would go straight to our plant, and we would have to stay there until everything was up, everything was done, and you know, you didn't leave. If you left, well then you got yourself in trouble and stuff. So I'm just saying, it's different. It's different. It is. And people don't understand that those situations that we're all in, and they want to get mad. It's like people want to come back after a wildfire a lot of time. I've seen that, and then they want to get mad, and because they can't get back to their homes, and I understand why that. Because I'm going to tell you something. When it's pitch dark, and like I said, you have to have identification, because at these times looters are probably one of the worst people of all. I can't stand thieves, folks. I'm sorry. You know, everybody has a chance to work for a living, but to steal because you don't want to work or something like that, and I don't want to hear all that, well, I can't work. And I mean, I know a lot of people can't that are disabled and stuff like that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I mean, you're going to have to. Now, I'm going to leave this kind of up like here, okay? Because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, just come over here, and I'll draw it for you. And I'm going to make where the hand, you know, comes in with the sleeve and everything like that. Same pattern, just changing it a little bit, in other words. Same pattern. And moving just a little bit. See what we're doing here? And this is just, this arm will just be down. As if she's down like that.